So here I just got myself the scan data back, and I'm super pleased with it right now. Um, how the quality came out, it's super clean as you can see. Um, yeah, it's got all the details. I mean, this is exactly like what you want to build from. Um, all the tabs. So I just need for the exterior, I just need the wide body part. So I just need the scan data of the body and the fenders. Bumper is a little bit different. Later, I'm actually going to scan the B side and all the tabs. But to get the design worked out for the A side, this is perfect. I mean, it is about as clean as you can get. Um, so even here, the vent, all the mounting points, I mean, its quality is super nice. Um, so this is really gonna help too on the B side stuff when I later arrange the bumpers. So hopefully that should be pretty good. And this data is pretty useful too because you can just snap curve any points like that, and you just can modify from there. So what I'm doing is actually I'm handing this over to my friend. He's going to actually resurface the whole car, so I can actually use the data instead of just being a mesh surface. Again, I'm not the best alias modeler in the world. My models are pretty crude, as you'll see later. But this will at least kind of get me a decent starting point. So this one is interesting. This one is actually the data that I got from the one on the website, and to be honest, this is the one I kind of used to visualize the car. And I was looking back and forth between this one and the scan data, as you can see here, and they're pretty close. I mean, it's not too far off. To be honest, if I align them together, I think you'll be pretty close to the point where you actually might be able to just build from there. But just to be safe, it's just better to get as close as you can. This kind of showing the before and after. The model is kind of in a mess right now because I was rotating into the position of the new scan data and it threw off the whole thing. But it doesn't really matter because I'm going to rebuild it anyways. But you can kind of see how much wider it is. So the front is going to be about 30 to 35 mils wider on each side, and the rear is about, right now it's 60 on each side, but it might get a little less depending on the driving dynamics. I have to do some research on it, but I'd say around 50 to 60. That's going to be the main thing. The rear diffuser is also going to be custom made. So you can see like just kind of adds a little more weight and mass to the car, and I think gives a kind of more powerful stance. Obviously, I mean, you're pulling the car wider, so that's always going to help. So the rear bumper, I just made it simple. That fender line in the rear, that's going to creep up a little bit more. This is kind of earlier version where I actually had a little bit lower, but I'm actually going to have it go over the rear shoulder. It's going to give it an even cleaner look. I just have to model that in. Yeah, so this view can really see, you can really see how much wider it goes. The current GTS is really nice, but I think it needs a little bit of that kind of grounded feel to it. That's where I kind of messed it up with the rotating the surfaces and stuff. But it doesn't really matter. Here, just adding a separate piece to kind of finish off the lower, because it's always kind of weird how the lower finishes off in a lot of wide bodies. So on it as some kind of a vent or kind of an air escape for the heat or the air pressure that's built up there. Probably I designed some kind of vent. I'm not sure yet exactly how. Some aero channels, things like that. So these are all just kind of quick blocking. I just did it right now before the video. So it should be pretty cool. I mean, I'm getting some quotes on it on the build. I gave them some reference data. It's not too bad. Actually, much cheaper than what I anticipated. So I'm pretty pleased with that. It's going to be probably milled ABS or milled foam, and then make a mold from it. Also got the wing in the works as well. So yeah, this is the first step. Scan data. I got the wheels already in there. As you can see, I already made the wheels to the position of the wide body. So from here, I'm just gonna start building the surface from it. But right now, So you can just kind of move the wheels around. Just you can do the measurements. You can go anywhere from 30, 60, whatever you feel like. So I think the next step now is just to get this worked out in the alias form. Just waiting for my friend to finish building me the part, and then from there I'll start building. Maybe probably start with the fenders, and then make myself into the bumper.